Hey guys, Miami Gunner here. We're here with my Kriss Vector 9. It's an SBR, and this is the CRB2, I believe, or the CRB Plus or whatnot. That comes with the handguard, and it comes with a 6.5 inch barrel instead of the 5.5, so that it sticks out beyond the handguard. When they sent it to me, it didn't come with the hand stop. And in one of the occasions, look, this is something you got to be careful with Kriss Vectors. These screws like to walk out on you. So that's exactly where I was going. One of these screws actually got loose and I lost it at the range. Let's check, all of them are here. Maybe I missed Loctite on these. Another reason why I'm doing this video is because I love Kriss Vectors. I love the company overall. I messaged Kriss USA, and I simply, sent them a picture of the screws that I was missing. They simply, I believe, asked me for a picture of the screws so they can know which screws were. And I did mention to them that I had, I have 4 vectors. So I did say that if I could purchase, maybe 3 or 4 screws so I could have some extras in case another one falls out. Right away, they sent them to me for free. I don't remember how many I got, if I got, 2 or 3 or 4, but they did send me more than one for free. And I did ask them about this hand stop, because my 45 ACP in Alpine White, which I never did out, don't buy it in Alpine White, they did come with this hand stop. So I messaged them and I asked, both of them were the same. This is like the limited edition, most expensive version of the Vector. And I asked them, does it not come with this? And they, they just simply asked if it didn't ship with it. And I said, no, my white one did, this one didn't. And without any question, they also sent me the hand stop. So shout out to Kriss USA. Obviously, I paid for all 4 rifles because, I'm not at that level to be sponsored by anybody, especially not Kriss USA. But again, and here's a story about me getting into Kriss Vectors. The first one I had was a 45 carbine. That was the first one I got. It was during COVID times. I had it on layaway. After I got that one, I got a 9mm pistol, just like this one, but I had the 5.5. Then I bought an MP5. After shooting the MP5 and the Vector 9, I decided to get rid of the MP5 right away. Because to me, well, not to me, the Kriss Vector has way less felt recoil. A lot of people think recoil is just, oh, it's not going to hurt your shoulder. Wow, you're so soft. The 9mm is going to hurt you. But they don't realize that it's about target acquisition. With this thing, when I get on steel, you'll just be as fast as you can let this gun eat. It will stay on steel because low felt recoil makes the gun not move at all. It basically, I would say, feels something between a 22 and a 22 Magnum. That's how this gun feels. For example, I have the Kriss Vector 22. The 22 doesn't have the V system of recoil mitigation. And that one, obviously, is just a 22, but it feels almost the same as the 9. I have a 10mm and I have a 45. Those, you get a little bit more of a kick. And more than anything, I explain to people, this bolt goes down like this and then it comes back up. When the bolt is coming back up, your gun goes up a little bit. So when you're cheek wielding, you kind of feel the buttstock go up on you a little bit. And if you look in the videos of me shooting the Kriss Vectors, you'll see that you'll get a little bit of cheek knock. And the 9, you don't notice it or feel it. On the 10mm and the 45, you do get a little bit more of the up travel on the cheek, and you do feel that as the recoil. But again, I would say that the 45 and the 10mm Vectors feel like an MP5, which is roller delayed. And for example, a Scorpion, or a Strybog, the non-roller delayed, those things, or I had AR-15, a 9mm direct blowback. To me, that kicked 2 or 3 times as hard as, as the MP5. And this, to me, kicks half as much as the MP5, the 9mm version. I would say the 45 feels more like a MP5. And again, the 45 feels way less recoil than a regular Scorpion. Or let's say the Uzi. I have a Uzi carbine. That thing kicks you like crazy, especially just being 9. The only one of these that I have not had the experience of even shooting is the MPX. I can't give you any comparison to an MPX because I just haven't shot one. And I'm not a huge AR-15, platform guy. So I would never spend, you know, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 on an MPX. It's just not my thing. I would gladly drop it on a Vector again because it's a really cool platform. But I'm just, you know, if I just want a gun that looks like an AR-15 and 9, you know, I'll just build one. So, but again, the MPX does seem like it's, you know, a nice impingement system because it's gas impingement. But I can't say whether a Vector has more or less recoil than that. But I will say that I still think that a Vector has less recoil. This V system that they have is amazing. So, my bad if I go on tangents. That's just how my mind works. I'm just, oh, squirrel. I'll get back to these screws. Chris did send me the screws, but I would say that, mind you, this gun has a ton of rounds. Right now, I'm gonna show you this is the shell deflector. Again, my gun has a lot of rounds. And a lot of them are suppressed, so you're getting, you know, a lot more gases coming back. But these screws do go loose. Like I said, I did lose one and I didn't even notice until I got back home from the range. So I would recommend you taking all of these off and adding some blue thread locker. I would not do red, and I would use it, you know, sparingly. Don't go crazy, because then you'll never be able to get these screws out. And this is plastic, so there's no way to heat up your bolts to loose up the thread locker. So just be very easy. And again, on this one, let me take it off and see if I simply just didn't put any thread locker on it, because I thought I went through every screw. It seems way too loose. It seems like I missed this one. And no, it has thread locker. So you see on this one, I put too little thread locker, because you see that brown stuff there is how the thread locker looks once it dries up and whatnot. So maybe don't use it so sparingly, but again, don't go crazy on the blue, because again, if you go crazy even on the blue, sometimes you might strip a bolt. But apart from that, I can't really say I've had much issues with it. It does sometimes like to stovepipe rounds. For example, right now, I'll get a box of, I have some PMC bronze, and those rounds are very pointy. So a few of them, I've had it where they stovepipe, but it's a very rare occurrence, and it's only certain brands. Another brand that I will never buy again is Sterling Ammunition. If you find Sterling Ammunition, the 9, even if it's brass case, because I bought the brass case, I had bought, I think, 1,400 rounds for the price of some Federal, you know, for 1,000, and I got 1,400 rounds. Man, I got so many failure to feeds on that Sterling ammo on the Kriss Vector. If I'm not mistaken, the Glocks, you know, like a 17 or 19 will still eat that Sterling ammo, but this Kriss Vector would get so many jams. And again, out of a 40 round mag, maybe I would get 3 jams. But for a Kriss Vector that on me never gives me issues, that was just ridiculous. But the second, and again, I went through all 1,400 rounds, and this Kriss Vector ate most of them. And still, you know, like I said, it ate most of them, but I would never buy that Sterling ammo again, because again, I just, you know, this is one of the guns I shoot the most, and I just hated it. Federal works awesome. I had a sponsorship from Nautilus Ammunition, and besides the fact that they sent me free ammo, their ammo was great, and honestly, the Kriss Vector loved it. If you see most of my mag dump videos or shorts that I have of the Kriss Vector in 9, you'll even see the Nautilus Ammunition plug, because they would give me the ammo. But again, the gun was running amazing, so I would say that Nautilus Ammunition 9mm runs great on these. Again, Federal, I usually try to buy 124 grain just because it's a little heavier. Plus, like I said, I run it suppressed. I have ran the, I believe it's the Winchester Super Suppressed. It's like a black and blue box. Correct me if that's not the right brand. But I've ran those on this one, and they did run good. I just, maybe, you know, that was the first few trips I took out the suppressors. Maybe I didn't have enough experience. But to me, the sound difference wasn't, you know, worth the money of buying subsonic ammo. So I just shoot it with regular sonic ammo and no ears. It's, for me, shooting the Vector with I have a Banish 45 can. So it's not even a 9mm can, it's a 45 can. It's a hearing safe. I'll do a whole 40 round mag dump in a few seconds, and my ears won't ring or anything. They won't hurt at night. So I really like that. And again, I'll just run it suppressed on 124. And so I'm gonna basically just doing the video. I'm gonna do a breakdown, show you guys how it's ran. And I'm just gonna show you real quick the shell deflector. Again, I'll get back to you guys whether it's steel or aluminum, but what I want you guys to see is how much wear. And mind you, this is just brass wearing on this metal, nothing else. See if I can get it to focus. So look at that divot and all the small divots. Pretty crazy. That some soft brass shells would do that much damage. And if you look right there, you can also see damage. And again, there, it's very, very badly eaten up. Again, does that really affect the gun running? I would say it doesn't. You can see some up there. But again, there you see a lot of shell hits. But I guess, I wouldn't say concerning, but the most substantial one is that one. So right now in the comments, I want you guys to guess how many rounds I've been in this gun. Looking at this wear, how many shells do you think have been ejected through here? And look at the bolt, it's pretty damn dirty. You can barely read the 9. Mind you, I did clean this area so you could see this. It was just as dirty as the 9. As you can see, you can barely read 9mm. So take a guess in the comments. How many rounds do you think I've put through this gun already? And I'll tell you right now. So I was kind of doing the math. And like I told you guys, the Sterling ammo, I had 1,400 rounds of those. Then I had bought Federal. I bought 2,000 rounds of Federal. And now with the PMC, I've already gone through 1,000. So I do have a lot of other 9mm. So loosely, between those, I just mentioned like 5,000 rounds that I bought in the last year or so. This gun has easily eaten 2,000 to 3,000 rounds. I'm just gonna leave it in that area because again, I don't really keep count. But I have the Kriss Vector 40 round mags, and I have 4 of those. I also have 2 32s Glocks, and every range trip I go to, I fill all 4 of the 40s, so that's 160, and then the 2 30s, which is another 60. So that's 220 rounds without reloading. So easily, this gun has had 3,000 rounds. So as you can see, that's why I'm saying that this wear right here on the shell deflector, to me, is not bad at all. For a gun that's very, very used. Again, I don't know, I have a ton of guns, so I'd never run a gun this much. I don't have a ton of guns, but I have a few guns, and I don't run every gun this much. So I don't see a lot of wear on my guns. So for me, this is unusual. Maybe there's people that put, you know, I don't know, 10,000 rounds through a Kriss Vector. I don't have that kind of money. I buy too many guns. But again, I'm just gonna take it apart and show you guys. Mind you, this is also suppressed, so it's gonna have a lot more wear. I'm trying to show you guys a striker for the, which the coolest part is the trigger striker is on the upper, not on the lower. So as you can see, it's a little peened over, but I can't catch my finger on it or anything. So more than anything, it just looks polished right there. And on the top, I don't see any, you know, unusual wear or nothing. As you can see, it's insanely dirty, and the gun runs like butter. I definitely should clean it more, but, and again, if you didn't see how this gun comes apart, all you do is you pull the 4 pins, and that's it. And your bolt comes out. As you can see, the bolt travels through there, and then it comes up and goes vertical. But then it goes down and just comes out. Well, out now that the gun is taken apart. So this is the weight of the bolt, and this is the bolt itself. So let's look for any wear on the bolt. So as you can see on the top there, it's definitely a little peened. You got a little edge on the side. But again, considering 3,000 rounds, I wouldn't say that that is too bad. Mind you, one thing, the other day I was checking the Kriss website, and they do sell that shell deflector, and they do sell the bolts. But again, if this would get worse, I'm sure that Kriss Vector would replace it. But again, I don't see, you know, it being too crazy of a wear. Last time I checked, it wasn't this worn, but mind you, lately I've been running it a lot more suppressed. So I would assume that that has a lot to do with that wear right there. You see, you know how it's polishing itself there. So I'm definitely going to give this and this a little polish, because you see it's basically asking for it. And again, there you can see a little bit of wear, and you can see it has a little bit of indent. I don't know how, there you can see the indent for sure. See how the light is catching the roundness of the indent? So it has a little indent there. I'm just gonna polish that out and take out the rough edge on it. I'm also gonna try to take out the rough edge on this, because here I can't catch my finger on that little edge. So it definitely is slightly peened over. You can see the peening right there and there. Let me clean it with my dirty fingers. So you can see the peening. So yeah, it's not dirt, that's just peening. But again, I don't think it's that bad. If you have a CZ Scorpion, take it apart and look at your bolt after 2,000-3,000 rounds. That's not bad compared to a CZ Scorpion. So this is also why I'm doing this video, because people swear by those Scorpions, and I'm sorry, I think they're junk. I had one, you know, I had the Evo 3S1, whatever, the little shorty. I thought it looked great, but I sold it because it's just not a great gun. It has so much damn recoil, and it's all plastic, but it doesn't even look that cool. To me, a Kriss Vector is just cool as hell, you know. Again, I might just be a Kriss Vector fanboy. You can call me out, but I do love them. That's why I have one of each caliber, except for a 40, because who wants a 40? And then here, it looks peened, but that's kind of like a sticker. I've noticed that before. I was like, man, this is peening like crazy. Nope, it's just like a little sticker or something it has. As you can see, there seems absolutely, well, there's somewhere there. But again, that's more like polished. Let's run my finger through it if there's any peening. Nope. None at all. So again, that part doesn't seem to be worn at all. Before I touch my Vector, I would never, oh my God, you guys imagine me touching the Alpine White with this? Man, I'm cringing right now just thinking about it. So, let me see, I might need to wash my hands before I touch the Kriss Vector. Well, let me just grab it with this. Yep. Let's look at the chamber and on the inside. I don't think I've ever polished this this ramp. Pretty sure it came polished from factory. As you can see, it's insanely dirty. That's the deflector right there. I don't see any wear on it. You can see the rails inside the rails. Let me see, I see some spots back here that are... So I definitely have to clean it a lot more, because that little wear right there seems like it's like little pieces of brass that have just been dragging with the action. But again, that's basically where the bolt runs, and it doesn't look bad at all. This is the rest of the rail. One rail is for the weight. Obviously, this outer rail is for the weight, and the inner rail, as you see, it goes, that's where you see the V mitigation system. It's the inner rail, not the outer rail, the inner rail, and it goes all the way up, then it V's across. So like I told you, the bolt comes back, down, and then up. So you feel when the gun goes down, you don't feel it as much, but when the gun comes back up, like I told you, more than anything on the 45 and the 10, you do feel the bolt kick up at you a little bit, the stock. But again, let's give this a little wipe so you guys can see that it's still just nice and polished. So I'm gonna have to switch hands for this one. All right, guys, my phone ran out of memory, so I'm back. I already cleaned all of this. As you can see, it's still a little peened. Mind you, I did say the gun had 2,000 to 3,000 rounds. I named out all the ammos I used, but earlier I told you guys how I had a Nautilus ammunition sponsorship. So honestly, add another 1,000 rounds of Nautilus ammunition to that. So it's looking more like, I would say closer to 4,000 to 5,000 rounds through this. And again, I was noticing, you see right there, I'm not sure if that's supposed to be like that. Somebody else has it looks like it's a cut, you know, thing. So maybe that is supposed to be like that. But either way, on the back, there's a little bit of wear. On this one, I really don't see any wear. Bolt face has no wear. Again, we had already seen that little peening on top. There's definitely some peening here. You can kind of, you know, You see it's taking my nail off, a little bit of my nail off, so it's definitely peened a little bit, but again, not bad. Extractor looks perfect. Again, in here, there's a little bit of polishing, but none of it is like uneven or anything. Same goes for there. Nothing weird wearing on these. These are the ones that roll on the second rail in here, like I had told you guys. I cleaned in here. You can see it's still a little dirty, but I cleaned inside the rails as much as I could. I cleaned in there. Again, yeah, it might still look super dirty, but it's kind of hard to get into these crevices too much. I would say that would kind of be, if anything, one of the downfalls of the Kriss Vector, because you have so much, you know, real estate in here that you can't easily clean. But again, I was able to clean most of this. And again, no unusual wear on any of these rails, especially not on that transition. You would maybe expect that transition to be rough, but you can see the back of the transition there, where the bolt goes down in the V formation. You can see the two rails there. The rear one is for the weight of the bolt, and obviously the V is for the bolt. I know I've said that like 40 times, but bear with me. So yeah, that's the gun cleaned. It was very, very dirty. And again, there you can see the wear. But again, like I said before, I don't see, you know, any extraneous wear on this gun at all. I always recommend people to buy a Kriss Vector. Everybody calls me a Kriss Vector fanboy. Some of my friends don't understand why I would have bought 4 of them. I just bought different guns. But again, once you shoot one, I think it kind of, you know, changes your religion, converts you in a way to Christianity. That joke. So yeah, guys, accept Christianity. Buy yourself a Kriss Vector. I would say get a 9. If you got money, get a 10, because the 10 to me is the most fun. And if you want to be quiet, I guess get the 45. But the 10 has almost 40 rounds on the magazine. I forgot how many it takes. I have one there, but whatever. But I would say get the 10, but 10mm ammo's, you know, super expensive, so I don't take it out as much. And I do have, I do have a piston for my suppressor for the 10mm, but I've never used it. I did shoot the 45, and the 45 was pretty quiet. To me, it was not subsonic, which was funny because I thought all 45 was supposed to be subsonic. And the Kriss Vector 45 only has a 6.5-inch barrel. So I don't understand, but I was definitely getting some crack out of it. But again, a little tangent. But yeah, definitely go out there, buy yourself a Kriss Vector. Kriss USA, if you're watching this and you guys want to sponsor me, I'll even take some stickers. I love you guys. Kriss Vectors are awesome. You guys are doing a good job. Thank you guys for watching. And if you have any questions on the Kriss Vectors, let me know. I'll be glad to answer them. Oh, by the way, the sight is a Hollow Sun 4. What is it? No, it's a 503 CU. I really like it because it's the big circle with the little circle. And for my astigmatism, it's awesome. It's also a green dot. Is it a green dot? No, it is a red dot. Yeah. I've had it for a few years and I've never changed the battery. And it is solar, so even if the battery's out, you're good. But I do love it. The only thing I don't love is the price. So I don't know if I buy another one, but it was definitely worth the money. So again, this is these two together is a deadly combination. So I'm just gonna put it back together and then just do a little video, just racking it, I guess, because I'm scared to put a video on YouTube of putting a gun together, because that stuff is frowned upon, guys. So, but yeah, this is the teardown. I'm showing you guys what it's looking like after 4,000 to 5,000 rounds. Thank you guys for watching.